I am not at home, traveling out of town, so this is what we are working with. If you haven't seen my other video, I showed everybody the accent wall that my sister painted herself. It's pretty cool. Let's begin. We are checking out some entitled students. Any teachers out there in the chat? Tell me in the comments, are you a teacher? Have you dealt with an entitled or spoiled student? I want to hear the tea. Anonymously and respectfully, of course. Student handed in a one-page essay of complete gibberish, like utter stream of consciousness of a gerbil on LSD kind of garbage. After receiving an F on this assignment, this muffin had the audacity to come to my office hour and demand that I explain this grade to them. After I walked them through their river of word garbage, they tried to tell me that I just didn't understand their writing because I am not an English native speaker. First time I almost kicked somebody out of my office. Well, I want to read it. The way you've described it, gerbil on LSD and garbage, I need to read it. Show us, please. Let me read it in a video. The people want to know. I had a girl come in with a research paper, bibliography that listed my mom as a source several times. When I pressed, she told me her mom looked up everything and sent it to her, and she just put it in the paper. She told me she had always done it that way. Oh my God. So in her paper, when you had to do proper citations from where you got your research from, she put her mom because her mom sent her the research. Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna rip that Band-Aid off and hurt her ego and be like, girl, that is not how it goes. Wouldn't that be easy? I would just put Google as my citation for where I found my research. Two girls were swapping thoughts on the exam, and A asks B who she wrote about. B says, I wrote about Lenin. A says, really? I don't remember him mentioned in the lectures a lot. B says, oh, I know, but I know a lot about him. My mom is a huge fan of his music. She had written about John Lennon, not Vladimir Lenin, whose name was clearly printed on the exam paper. This is the same girl who, while we're being taught about the Holocaust and shown pictures of dead inmates, said, what diet do you think he was on? Oh my God. I want my ribs to show like that. We were in a teaching degree, by the way. Oh my God. That's really sad. Like, that's not even funny at that point. Like that her mind went to such a thought. The John Lennon thing, a little funny, but the other part, not so much. A student in biochemistry class once told me that he needed to take the final exam early because he had an unavoidable conflict on the scheduled day of the exam. The unavoidable conflict? A family ski trip to Colorado over Christmas to celebrate Grandpa's 90th birthday. Yeah, school doesn't care. I informed the student that the final exam schedule is made by the university and that I have no ability to alter it. The student asked what would happen if he skipped the exam to go skiing, to which I replied that he would receive a 0. He didn't look happy, but he said okay and left, and I didn't think another thing about it. Until 2 days later when the phone rang and it was the student's mommy on the phone, up in arms because I was standing in the way of her precious angel making it to Grandpa's big birthday celebration in Colorado. She yammered on for 5 minutes that felt like 5 hours, and then I said something to the effect of, look, Miss Student's mommy, I don't make the final exam schedule, but the date of the final exam has been on the syllabus since the first day of class. And if Precious Angel Student didn't bother to make sure his exams were over before the start of his trip, there is nothing I can do about it. She then accused me of forcing her son to miss his grandpa's birthday, to which I replied, I'm not forcing your son to do anything. I guarantee that I'm not going to go to your son's dorm room on the day of the final and physically compel him to attend the exam. If he chooses to take the exam, then the consequence is that he'll have to miss his grandpa's party. If he chooses to go skiing, then the consequence is that he gets a 0 on the exam. I'm fine with whatever choice he makes. A few weeks later, Precious Angel shows up right on time to take the exam. My knowledge, Grandpa's party went off just fine without him. Student's family life did not implode because he missed a party and so forth. But I'm sure somewhere there's an online review of me that states something along the lines of, worst teacher ever. Wouldn't even change a university-wide exam schedule made months in advance so that I could go on a luxury family ski vacation to Colorado. That is probably true. I guarantee that review exists. 1000%. Yesterday, a student emailed me and told me that her textbook hadn't arrived yet. 2 weeks into the semester. She requested that I take photos of the first 70 pages of the textbook and email them to her. Oh, please. If all my profs would have done that, I would have saved thousands of dollars on textbooks. They were so expensive. I can't even imagine what the prices are now. Because back then, breaking the bank to get a stupid textbook. Back when I was a graduate teaching assistant at FSU, a student once told me her daddy down in Boca was friends with Jeb Bush, and he was going to come for my job unless she got the A she wanted. My department chair gladly took over, and I never heard a word about her again. Ridiculous. Her grade? B+. You know what? B+ is still pretty good for someone who was acting that entitled. Do you know my dad is friends with Jeb Bush, and they're gonna come for your job? I can just imagine, like I can picture that scene happening. I used to TA for undergrad organic chem lab courses. That sounds terrible. Had a challenging student once who was not great at reading directions or thinking critically. We were setting up an experiment that required gentle heating of a volatile solvent. I explicitly told the class multiple times, only turn your hot plates up to 2 when heating. These things get very hot. Maybe 30 minutes later, I'm making my rounds through the lab and I pass said guy's fume hood and notice his reaction is smoking. I look closer and see that all of the liquid in his flask is gone and it's just a charred black smoking mess, which is still heating. I ask, student, what's going on with your reaction? What's the temperature set at? The guy goes, oh, I wasn't sure how hot to heat it, so I just turned the plate all the way up to 10. Is my reaction going to be okay? No, man. It's not going to be okay. He literally boiled the thing dry. Well, that's what happens when we don't listen. I cannot judge because if I said I listened in every class, I would be lying. There were classes I got kicked out and I was sent into the hallway. There's classes where I got detentions. Why, you may ask? Let's guess. Why would I get a detention? It couldn't possibly be that I was talking back to my teachers and giving them attitude. No way! Once had identical twin sisters who turned in identical essays. They tried to pull a quick one on ya. Both were directly plagiarized from a Google search and received identical zeros. Like not even turning in the same paper to each other, like as their twin, but the fact that you didn't write the paper. Y'all, if you're a student out there, don't mess with plagiarism. I remember like trying to like copy and paste like even 2 sentences and I'd put it in my paper and then I'd try to tweak it a little because like the wording was great or something. They can check that stuff so easily. It's not worth it. Like I should have just sounded dumb and wrote like myself than trying to sound smart. School was not a strong suit. I did well in drama, dance, and cooking. Literally. That's where I peaked. I had a student include numerous emojis in a term paper. Oh, add a little bit of spice. I would love to see emojis in a term paper if I was a teacher. You know? To show the emotion behind the wording. Truthfully, I would love it. A different student came to my office a week after the final and asked me why she had failed the course. She hadn't turned in a single assignment or written the final. The second one is more understanding. You're not doing the work. You're not showing up and you didn't even write the final. Of course you failed. The emojis I can get on board with. And it's probably why I'm not a teacher. My dad taught junior college biology and A&P and at times zoology and botany for 25 years. He has so many stories from multiple people showing up with roadkill for him to identify, asking advice on growing weed and shrooms, and thinking he was a medical doctor. The one that sticks out to me was a poor girl who lingered after class to ask if pregnancy tests can ever be wrong because I took a bunch this morning. He explained about human growth hormone and told her false negatives are possible, but not false positives. He said her face just kept falling as it slowly dawned on her. She told him 3 were negative. He asked if any were positive and she said yeah. He asked how many and she said 12. So you're saying it's not possible that I'm not pregnant. He was like, sorry, honey, unfortunately, yes, that's what I'm saying. You need to go see a doctor. She came back a couple semesters later and let my dad meet her very adorable baby. Oh, okay, well, you know what? The bottom part of this is a very different vibe. It's a cute story. She went to her teacher. They have the connection. She let him meet her. That's adorable. The stuff I'm concerned about is the roadkill. Are we just gonna breeze past that with this happy ending and asking about growing illegal substances? Hello? Oh, like tell me you pulled over, picked up a squirrel, threw it in your car, and walked into the classroom with it like dangling. Disgusting! I was a graduate instructor for a scientific writing class where students were trained in how to consume and report on research in the form of a literature review. One student kept quiet the whole semester and declined help when I reached out to him periodically throughout. His term paper came in with the rest, but it was markedly different. He had written 20 pages on why science was a tool of the devil, complete with quotes from the Bible, and didn't even format the paper the way I had been teaching students all semester. Included in the paper was a snippet of an interview he conducted with his pastor. I gave a failing grade on the paper and recommend to him that he change majors to religious studies or something. Oh, that'd be a little bit creepy, to be honest. If I was a teacher and received that, I'd be like, oh damn, this is like something out of Exorcism of Emily Rose, you know? Like, okay. Like, teach their own. His beliefs are his beliefs. Like, whoa. Like, to just whip that out in a paper when that was not the assignment, like that was heavy on his heart. You know, like he needed to get that out. I had a student who did not submit their assignment and decided to talk to me about it after class when the assignment was 2 days late. They claimed they had trouble with Blackboard, but had not let me know about this trouble and kept changing their story on when exactly they tried to submit. Me. You could have emailed me to make me aware of this trouble. Them scoffing. Well, we didn't have class for a week. Me. Yes, 2 weeks ago because I had the flu and bronchitis. How is that relevant to this assignment? Them. Whatever. My illness is responsible for your late submission? I don't think so. Like Blackboard is this thing for online, like you submit assignments and stuff through that. If you had an issue viewing or submitting the assignment, you literally would just email, even if they didn't have class, you would email your prof and say, hey, I'm trying to submit this paper. Can I attach it to this email? Oh my God, I totally tried to use that before. Like, oh, I did submit it. It must not have went through. Like just to buy myself time. They're like, great, just submit it right here to this email. I'm like, okay. Damn it. I caught 2 students cheating on a major assignment during my first semester as a faculty member. I asked them to redo the assignment themselves and shared that I would not be penalizing them or filing a complaint. Wow, they just needed to redo the assignment. They flipped. Their parents left countless voicemails on my chair's phone stating that the new professor is a problem and blah, blah, blah. They then drove 4 hours from their home to my campus to meet with the chair. It turns out the students were friends, so their parents even came to the meeting together. My chair showed them the plagiarism, showed them the assignments and the website it was downloaded from, told them that they were incredibly lucky that I wasn't kicking them out of college as that was the recommended course of action. The parents threw a fit, denied their kids did anything wrong, and when confronted with the evidence, doubled down saying that it was a coincidence. Oh my God, give it up. Listen, you want to protect your kid, I get it. But at that point, you're not teaching your kid anything good in this moment, but to lie and to cheat and to continue to lie and cheat even though you've been caught. Like, this is a learning moment. Let's teach our kids that it's wrong and they messed up and it's not okay to lie. Just an idea. My lips are dry. Give me a second. Y'all, have you never heard of this brand? It's called Be Pure and it's at Dollar Tree. And I swear by their lip oils, $1.25. But I have I've been collecting their lip oils every time I see them. They're incredible. I had a student this last semester who didn't do anything. Barely showed up to class, left early, bombed every assignment and exam, did not participate a single time. On my final, posted to the back, I have a questionnaire of assignments and readings the students liked, what grade they felt they deserved, and any comments for me. I add this so that they have an opportunity to tell me any info they may not feel comfortable telling me, and I can get better at my craft. Respect. It's 1 page at the end of the final, which they can tear off and submit anonymously if they want. This student, who didn't do a single thing all semester, wrote voluntarily that after reading the first reading of the semester in August that she was bored and didn't read any of the assignments since. Then had the audacity to ask for at least a D to get some credit. I was genuinely blown away. It may not be as extreme as some of the others, but man, it made a lot of sense in hindsight. Let me not not participate or learn anything, but pass me, please. Please let me pass this course. Oh, if only that was the case when I was in university. I failed a paper in university, and luckily the prof gave me a chance to work on it and resubmit it so that I didn't get I think I got like a D. He was like, okay, I'll let you try to review. And then I might have bumped up to a C, but bless his soul. I actually minored in English, fun fact. My major was drama, obviously. And I minored in English. All right, guys, if you are a teacher out there, tell me, what is the craziest story you have dealt with, you know? Spill the tea. I'm out of here though. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I will see you tomorrow.